It means everything, right? So, yes, I have been working quietly. What people might know or not know about me is that I'm coming from a completely different space. But this has been sort of a dream and a passion for me for the last, 20, 25 years. So to finally be here and to realize, this dream and this vision, at least to launch it and say to people that this is what I want to do, for me is, a blessing and just, a fantastic, fantastic culmination to long, long, long years of dreams. So I'm just hoping that, as we move forward, things will happen as we have planned. We'll go through the ups and downs, yes, I know, but I'm looking forward to great things ahead by the grace of God. Yes. I think first and foremost is the story. I just connected with the story. So our director and writer, Dolapo Marinho, who I hope that, you get to talk to tonight. This was a story of hers, a short story where it was called out of a short story that she had written. And when immediately I read it, it resonated with me. And I said to her, you have to turn this into a short film. And for me, I think it's a story. It's not an easy story to deal with or to watch, but I think it's an important story to tell. A lot of times we as human beings, we just walk through life with assumptions, and we walk through life not just maybe noticing the things that are around us. So I think hopefully this movie will get people to think. For me, it's a project that I wanted to use to announce, to sort of see the types of stories that we want to tell, and also just showcase, what we're able to do. So, where for me was just, I connected with this story and I felt that it was an important story to tell.
The background to the story is a very simple one. It practically grew out of a sense of shame on my part. I used to drive past the bridge every night on my way back home, and I would see this woman sitting at the bus stop. She was a quote unquote weary, but from what I could tell, she wasn't so sick. You know what I mean? She probably could have had some help, but I did not have the courage to stop my car and go and ask this woman, what is the matter? Why are you in this situation? So one day I drove past the bridge and she was not there and I never saw her again. And that really affected me profoundly. So I thought, you know what? I think she needs a story. What happened to this woman? So I made up a story that happened to her. And that's how we ended up with the movie Weary. I think what they yearn the most is understanding. So in our society, we still have a stigma attached to mental illness. I have a lot of experience with people that have mental illnesses of different kinds, schizophrenia, PTSD, bipolar disorder. So, I think what they really want is understanding, because a lot of the time Nigerians, we think they're possessed or there's something spiritual wrong with them. So I would say understanding and, a lot more help. So you really don't need to end up on the streets if you have a simple mental illness that can be, cured. Well, maybe not cured, but managed by medication. So yeah, I think, that's the sadness a lot of the time, that a lot of these people don't really need to be on the streets. They can be helped. One of the saddest things for me is like, there was an irony every morning when we went on the bridge. We literally cleared 20 people away that were sleeping on the bridge. And for me, it struck me as kind of ironic because we're doing a movie about these certain types of people. And we're here like, we need your space, you know what I mean? So, that hit me as kind of sad, but I still thought that the story was important and it was very, we needed to tell it. So in as much as we tried to take care of those people as much as we could. And a lot of them were not mentally ill, they just were homeless. They were just sleeping and going to work. So we have a lot of things to address in society. But for me, that kind of struck me as a little bit of an irony. Yeah. I want people to think about the marginalized people in our society and how dangerous it is for them to live in an environment as low consequence as ours. If you see the movie, what happened to her at the end, you see that the perpetrators got away with it. And it's not anything new. We know this story. This is not a story that is new to us. But the fact that there is no consequence for this kind of action is what I want us to think about. Who is the weary? Is it the weary or is it us?
It was very sublime, for lack of a better word. Yes, lack of a better word. I'm not even able to quantify or articulate. It's kind of ineffable. It was so. I'm a mentally ill person living on the streets. And if you live in Lagos or experience Nigeria in some form, you realize how very, very, that's a thing that we're used to. people on the streets. So, they've not showered, their hair is, they've not brushed. God, so you wonder, you never actually have the time to look at these people because you are in your car and you're in the grind in Lagos hustle. So you don't see, I hardly ever see. Maybe once in a while you take a bus or you're in a taxi and then you notice people on the streets like coming to beg, and things are not easy right now in the country. Things are tough for the common man. Yeah. So you notice once in a while, or you notice somebody in the public transports like this. Like, so things are hard. How much more the mentally ill? Like you're asking, how are these people? It's hard for me. I'm inside my taxi. I'm inside my car. It's hard. How much more this person that is on the road? Talk less of this person that cannot care for themselves on the road. And so it was a lot. It was a lot. I did most of we shot for 3 days because it's a short film, and I did most of I didn't talk, I didn't interact with cast and crew. I hardly did because it was a lot. It was heavy. You had people wondering, and I'm in costume from morning till night. I never take it off until they call wrap for the day. So you're just walking around Lagos and people are like, especially Agberos, as now, the boys of the streets. Like, are you? Exactly. Which one? Like, and I'm like, so there was one that just kept following me. He was so fascinated. And I was like, he kept looking at me. And I was like, do you want to touch me? He was like, and he did. I was like, yes, I'm real. I'm a real person. Yes, it was very immersive. That's the word. It was. In Ojota. As in, on that bridge.
From the title, Weary, it's about a mad woman who lives under the bridge. And it just happens that Madame Spitz is someone who gets the bus from that bus stop. And, she's having she has her own demons and is dealing with a lot of issues. So at the end of the film, you see yourself asking questions like, who is really mad? The Madame Spitz or be the mad woman? So, it's just showing how people deal with different things in life, and you just never really know what's going on in their head. So it was quite exciting to play her.
When we're thinking about what others are going through, what's the best thing we can do as individuals?
I think it's important to offer hope, and be considerate of others. And everyone is dealing with something. The world has changed so much, and everyone has their own mental health issue they're dealing with. Where we come from, we don't really discuss those things. So I would just say, be kind. Just be kind to people.